Hey there, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing a top 10 video, and this is a recommendation that actually came from one of you guys. So thank you so much for that. I love getting ideas from you guys on videos to film. So do let me know in the comments below after you've watched this video what kind of ideas you have, and I'll start filming for the next couple months. So yeah, as you saw from the title, I'm doing a top 10 on my top 10 long-lasting Sillage fragrances. So Sillage is kind of that scent that lingers on your skin in terms of like the air that moves around. I'm explaining that incorrectly. When you've like sprayed a fragrance and the kind of like trail in the air that follows you is the sillage of a fragrance. And it can have, you know, a fragrance can fill up a room and it can have very strong and far sillage, or it can be sit very close to the skin. So all of these fragrances have very strong sillages where you're going to be able to smell your fragrance, obviously yourself, but also someone's going to smell you from further away than just being right next to you. So we're going to get into it. If you haven't subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe, and let's start with one of my favorite fragrances. And I'm actually going to put it on right now because I've been wanting to wear this one again. This is Secret Obsession by Calvin Klein. I love this fragrance. Oh, it is intoxicating. I've also done a video on like top 10 or just my most intoxicating fragrances. I did it last year. And this was in there because there is something in this fragrance that is like a drug to me. I am obsessed with it. It's got, you know, tuberose and jasmine and amber and vanilla and sandalwood. It's so just like sensual and intoxicating. I absolutely love it. And it's so, I don't know, I feel like people underestimate it, including myself. When I picked this up for really, really inexpensive at a drugstore, I really had no expectations. I even had kind of a bad expectation because I was worried it was going to smell like Obsession by Calvin Klein, which I loathe, but it doesn't. It is so sexy and I love it. I really, really do love it. So the scent itself is obviously beautiful, but the sillage on this lasts forever. I remember the first couple times when I was wearing it, I was even like, I don't know, I must have been trying out some fragrances throughout the day, so I didn't realize, but this was like the first one I put on, and I kept like smelling something delicious throughout the day. When I'd move around, or if I was, you know, heading out for an errand, I kept like smelling myself, and it was this. And that's when I knew. I was like, there is something spectacular about this fragrance. And it really drew me to keep wearing it. So I've recommended this a lot. You're gonna see with stories that I mention that usually, like if a fragrance sillage like speaks to me, separate from like the scent itself, it's really, really gonna stand out. So I love it. It's such an inexpensive gem to find. You can usually find like the larger bottles for around $20 now, which is incredible. So I really, really do recommend that. Then I won't spend a lot of time on this, but the reality is Shalimar, I have the Eau de Toilette by Guerlain, is a powerhouse in terms of a scent. I have sprayed this before on like winter clothing I'm putting away, like really like heftier coats and stuff, and it will hold on to that smell forever. It's very long lasting, and I feel like I like the sillage of Shalimar more than the scent itself, if that makes any sense. Like the scent itself is nice. It's a classic. You can see from the bottle, I don't wear it that often. And when I do, it's like one spray really, which I never do with a fragrance, but it just really is like a one spray scent for me personally. But I do like the sillage a lot more than the scent itself. I feel like it brightens a bit more and it's more appealing to me, and it really does last a long time. You can fill a room. I've sprayed it before on like a throw of mine that I really just, I don't know, wanted it to smell like Shalimar, and my entire bedroom would smell like that every time I walked in that whole day. So I really, really do like that one, and I feel like if you're someone who likes a classic scent and want something from Guerlain, you can really get like good bang for your buck, because honestly Shalimar is pretty inexpensive to find now as well, considering it's from Guerlain. Then another inexpensive one I had to mention is Sense of Glam by Zara. I don't really think you can get this anymore, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention my Old Faithful. This is one of the first fragrances that I talked a lot about when I first started my channel. And I remember it was like the first fragrance that you guys would tell me that you got because of me, which will always make it like an extra bit special for me. But understated gem, if only because my goodness is the lasting power on this incredible. And the sillage on this is just as strong. It is a real powerhouse. It is a really beautiful like rose, lychee, musk, lipsticky scent. I adore it. I've got like 4 backups and this, so I'm set for life, but I really, really do like it. You can overspray this, which I know I learned the hard way. And you really don't need to go crazy. And as you move around, I have had people in my life mention how strong this is in terms of like the sillage, and how when I leave they can like still smell it. Thankfully it's a great smell, but yeah, I really, really would say that is a stunner. And if you happen to be able to find it somehow being sold secondhand and you love a nice lipsticky rose, then I definitely recommend. All right, now next on the docket had to be, you guys know I wasn't gonna make this video and not include Sunshine by Amouage. This one got me in the sillage, honestly. I've told the story many times, but I had been really longing to try this years ago now, because of the many a review on YouTube, and it was just constant reviews for a while there, and everyone was picking this up, and I couldn't find it in person, and I was like, I just didn't even know if I would like it in terms of the scent. But I would see the bottle, someone would review it, and I would be all over it, and I thought about it all the time. And then when I tried it in an airport, in the Munich airport, I had tried a bunch of Amouages because they had this whole stand, and I tried them all. And I remember I like sprayed this one specifically all around my collar of my sweater, because I was like, I really want to make sure I know. I couldn't get samples. I really want to make sure that I know that I like this. And this lasted for like the 10-hour flights, the 2-hour delay. It lasted through everything, and I washed that sweater and you could still smell it. And the sillage on this, on that airplane, I mean, it was mesmerizing to me. I don't know if everyone else on that plane enjoyed it as much as I did, but that's what got me, because at first when I smelled it, I was like, oh, it was such a stronger like white tobacco note than I was expecting, because people had always said it was like, not peachy, but like that it had like a fruity, like a sweet fruitiness to them, for them. And for me, it was just such a sweet tobacco rather. And it took me a bit. It took me a beat to get into it, but the sillage is what got me. I love it. It started my love and my deep respect for the Amouage line, so had to include that one. Now we're gonna get to 2 by Maison Lancôme. So we'll start with the first one, Roses Berberanza, my first from the line. Again, incredible lasting power, but the sillage on this is so nice, because I feel like as a scent, and I love this about it, but as a scent, it is very sickly sweet. It smells like Middle Eastern Persian pastries. It's very like syrupy, and it's like pistachio, almond, rose, like syrup and honey. And yeah, I adore it, but it's very, very, very sweet. And the sillage in this is a lighter feel. I feel like it's obviously very sweet, and if you don't like sweet fragrances, I would not recommend, but the kind of lingering smell that it leaves behind is perhaps a little bit more palatable for people than the actual sickly, just like drippingly sweet scent. I've not worn this in a while, and smelling it again is just like immediately brings me back to how much I love this scent. It is, in my opinion, it's a masterpiece. I should do a masterpiece video. I don't have that many like what I would consider masterpieces. But if I did do that video one day, then this would 100% be in it, because it just blew me away when I first smelled it. And it made me, like, that made me a gourmand lover in a way that I hadn't really been before. Then the second one is Parfait de Rose. And this one was a lot easier for me to like jump headfirst in, because it's a powdery rose. But I really underestimated her, because Rose's Braganza is strong. There's definitely a beautiful sillage there, and you kind of have an idea that it's going to be strong from the first sniff. And even the notes, Parfait de Rose, because it was powdery, I don't know, I did not learn my lesson with Sense of Glam by Zara, because this is kind of like a niche version of that, and or a hot, like an elevated version of that. And oh my god, did I overspray this the first time. You really don't need to. And not only is the lasting power very strong, the sillage I feel like is very strong, and which is great, but it also is like very strong around you, like the cloud that it forms. So tread lightly, do as I say, not as I do. Even for me, that's like I'm a chronic oversprayer. I find like three. I mean, just don't like go crazy, because usually like I'll go insane. Maybe like 3 sprays is enough. But yeah, it's so delicious, and I cannot recommend that one enough. I know from you guys that you told me that it's been discontinued. So if you see it, snap it up, because if you are into powdery, lipsticky roses, sweet roses, then that is a stunner. All right, now the next one, again, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on, but I would be remiss not to talk about Insolence. I pulled out the eau de toilette just for this example, because honestly, the eau de toilette and eau de parfum, they're both going to give you that same feel. I've done a video of all my Insolence fragrances, so you can take a look at that. But a reason why people don't like this fragrance is that never dying, just everlasting sillage on this. And I've not worn this in a while too. I'm just gonna go crazy. Whatever, I'll choke myself out. But this is candied violet, Parma violets to the max. And again, powdery, but do not underestimate it. This is a sweet candied violet that will go on and on and on and on. And I don't really see, like, the differences in lasting power and sillage for the eau de toilette and eau de parfum are very minimal. Do not let the eau de toilette confuse you, and watch that video if you want more of an in-depth breakdown. But it is a powerhouse. It is a beast mode scent. And I would say for this one, the sillage doesn't really smell different. It's like what you see is what you get. You just get that scent for, I don't know, like a meter or two around you, and it definitely does like follow you around in this beautiful candied violet trail. So love that. Then I have to mention this one. I mean, this really is the first one that came to mind when I thought about this video. It may have been the one that actually had you guys even asking for this video. This is Terre d'Hermes Eau de Toilette by Hermes. Technically it's a men's fragrance, but I think it leans unisex in my opinion. This is, I mean, from what I can think of, my favorite sillage that I've ever smelled. It smells different than the scent itself, and it smells more so like the heart dry down, like it doesn't have that opening of bitter oranges that it has in the opening. I don't know where else, like I'm running out of limbs to spray it. But yeah, okay, so in the beginning when you first smell it, it's very earthy and bitter orange. And I was like, oh, okay, it's nice. But give it a minute, because my God, I don't know what is in the heart of this that makes it like, again, a drug to me, and what happens with this sillage, but it is intoxicating to the point where it, like this and Secret Obsession have me smelling myself like an insane woman. And I'll be like, oh my God, what is that smell? And then every time I'm like, it's this, it's you. Why are you freaking out? But it's so good. I love it. I love it. I love it. I recommend it all the time. Whenever someone's like, oh my God, just like give me something that smells good and I want to surprise them, and I like, they're more adventurous, especially if they're a woman and like they don't want something that's like very, very, very feminine, because this isn't. I'll spray this and I'll be like, just give it a minute, because oh my God, it is a stunner. So Terre Hermes, had to include that. I have to now actually mention the only celebrity fragrance on this list, and this is Thank You Next by Ariana Grande. I learned about the sillage of this fragrance and how nice it is because, as you guys know, if you've been watching my channel, it took me a very long time to buy this, but I would spray it in stores and then go for a walk or just, you know, like do my errands, and I would be so into the scent and I'm like, oh my God, this smells great. Like I would walk into a different aisle and I'd catch a whiff of myself, be like, oh my God, I need to pick this up. And I don't know why I keep putting it off, or I kept putting it off, and then I finally got it. But it really is nice. It's very sweet. It's very like whipped cream, sweet whipped cream type scent. Some people say they get coconut. I wish I got more of that. Some people, one of you said that it smelled like pickles to you. And after you said that, for like a week or two, I could smell pickles, and then I can't anymore, thank God. That was really scaring me, that I'm like, oh, I ruined this for myself now. But I love it. And it really does have a super nice sillage. I have to say, like, her recent 3 releases, Ariana Grande, she's really stepped up her game in the celebrity fragrance world, which I don't say lightly, because her first few fragrances, I was like, they're abysmal. But this one, yeah, like I really do recommend it. And then lastly, and it's kind of like an honorable mention / 10th place, because it is an oil, and obviously oils are gonna, well, more than likely oils are gonna last longer on the skin, and so you would think, okay, they're long lasting, but this oil, I swear to you, has sillage, because some oils, like, they'll be very, very long lasting, but they'll sit close to the skin. They're not really wafting around. This one, and it's, I'll have to put the name up, it's by Rasasi. Oh, Arba or something. I'll put the name up. I was like, when I picked it up, I was slightly disappointed because I must have read the description wrong, and I thought I was getting the sprayed version of this. I knew it was an oil, but I thought I was getting like the sprayer version, and it's not. So it has this kind of like dabber, and I'm not going to put some on right now because I learned the hard way. But oh my God, does this actually have sillage, and it lasts forever. I put this on some clothing, sort of by accident, sort of not. Ages, like literal days after days, I think a week. It was insane. So if you like it's actually very floral, obviously. The name means 4 flowers, but it has like a clean, borderline cologne-y, but not scent to it that I feel like keeps it from ever getting, oops, I got some on my nose. It doesn't get heady. Like it doesn't get very heady or heavy, even though it's super floral. So love that. And that is my top 10 best, strongest powerhouse sillages. Let me know in the comments below which one of these fragrances you'd like to try, you have tried. I'd love to hear your opinions on these. And of course, let me know what kind of videos you'd like to see from me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.